Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So I'm here today to talk about the new iPhone SE 2022 and how people don't understand it and how it makes them angry. And it's really surprising. The phone was announced yesterday. I made a video about it talking about some of the new features and how I think it makes sense. And there are reasons that it makes sense, and we're going to get into that in a second. But first, we're going to deal with all of your aggression. Okay, first of all, the iPhone SE 2022 is not for everybody. It's just not. It's for a very limited group of people who like this design, who are using an older phone, who probably have an iPhone 6, an iPhone original SE that didn't get an SE 2020, who like that design, who like having the Touch ID, don't want to have to deal with Face ID. Like my mom is the prime candidate for this phone, and she would have gotten the previous iPhone SE if it was available before she had to upgrade from her iPhone 7 because hers had issues. That one, apparently there was some speakerphone or some speaker issues that plagued it that was terrible. Actually, my mom and her boyfriend and my sister all had the same problem with their iPhone 7. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. When it comes to the iPhone SE 2022 or even the 2020, there are other phones. I don't know if you'll realize this or not. You're probably typing from one right now. There's the iPhone 13, the 13 mini, the 13 Pro, the 13 Pro Max. I think you can still even get an 11 or a 12 off the website at a reduced price. So all the people that are coming after the iPhone SE 2020, look, there are people on the iPhone side and on the Android side, and it's really interesting because I've not really experienced anything like this in a long time. Usually it's just the Android people hate the iPhone, but now I've got the Apple people that also hate it, and it's overpriced, it doesn't bring value, it's got terrible battery life. Battery life is very subjective. Now, I will say that I used the iPhone SE 2020. I got over 4.5 hours of screen on time the way that I used the phone. With the A15 and the adaptive battery stuff, the adaptive connectivity with the 5G, with the sub-6 5G that's in there now, it's not much more battery than the 4G LTE modem. I think it's going to be all right. I'm not too worried about it. Now, my guess is you'll still probably only get 4 to maybe 5 hours of screen on time. For most people, that's pretty acceptable, especially whenever there's a lot of people out there rolling around with the Z Flip 3. Granted, not the best battery life in the world, but it only gets about 4 hours, 4.5 hours of screen on time as well. 3,300 milliamp battery as opposed to this one probably still has the same 1900 milliamp battery in the SE 2022. This phone gives people an introductory Apple iPhone at a much cheaper price. Now, when you say, okay, $429 is not value, let me place something into perspective. The last one was $399. Most people thought that was a good deal. Fast forward, it's 2022 now. 2 years later, we've been living in the world we've been living for the last 2 years. It's like 200 extra% money for gas. It's 20, 30, 40% extra for groceries. It's 11, 12% inflation. You go to get a Happy Meal or you go get a Big Mac meal at McDonald's now, sucker costs you near $10. So the prices of everything have gone up a lot. And the price of the iPhone SE 2022 has gone up 7%. So in a world where most other phones are $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000 plus dollars, I'm not going to hate too much on the iPhone SE 2022 going up 7%, but they've also thrown in 5G and they've thrown in the A15. Going back and looking at the iPhone SE 2020, it had the A13 Bionic. Of course, back then there was no 5G in the iPhone. Maybe there was some criticism there, but at that point in time, 5G used more battery. The antennas were less as efficient. There weren't as many towers out and all that good stuff. So 5G is less taxing now with the technology and the hardware that we have. And the battery technology is also arguably better now than it was 2 years ago. So taking a look at it, I think that we'll probably get the same battery life, if not maybe 10 to 15% better than we got before. You've got an improved camera. You've got IP67, which I believe the last one had. It's got ceramic shield if you actually care about that. But the thing is with this phone, this isn't a phone that's going to be for phone enthusiasts. This is not, the people that watched the Apple event yesterday probably weren't the excited people going, oh, let me go out and go get this iPhone SE as soon as it drops. When you take a look at the target audience for people who are interested in this phone, it's not the ones who are angry on Twitter and in the comments section. This is perfect for kids. It's great for teenagers. It's great for people who have been hanging on to an older iPhone design and still want to keep that. Don't like Face ID, don't like to have to scan their face. And you can't deny that it's kind of frustrating not being able to just press the Touch ID over the last 2 years, having to wear masks all the time. I would have much preferred Touch ID, and I don't know why they don't put it back in there with the power button like they have with something as simple as the iPad mini. So this phone If you're upset about it, you're not the target demographic. And is it competitive? A lot of people make that argument. Well, that's also subjective. Can you go get a 2-year-old Android flagship phone for probably a little bit more money on Swapper or eBay or Amazon Renewed? Yeah, you can. But you're probably still would never consider the iPhone SE 2022. Most people trying to justify the value of this phone aren't people that are going to buy it in the first place. You just want to be upset about the phone because it doesn't meet your lifestyle and your idea of what it should be. Would it be nice if we had an iPhone SE Plus? Sure. I would buy it in a heartbeat. I love the iPhone 8 Plus. The problem is the cameras and the hardware are dated. I would love to have an upgraded refresh on that. I thought we were going to get one with the 2020 model, but apparently that just didn't come to fruition. So there are rumors maybe that might come back next year. But then people are saying, well, this phone is not competitive at the price. What out there can you get for $429 brand new that has 5G, that has the top of the line best phone processor in the world inside the phone? Granted, yes, it has a 4.7-inch LCD with some bezels. That fact has not escaped me. But again, not for the people who are looking to get it. You can go out and get an iPhone 13, an iPhone 13 mini, an iPhone 13 Pro or Pro Max with the exact same hardware. So I don't really see the argument in that. And they are much more expensive. You're paying several hundred more dollars, $699 to get an iPhone 13 mini. So this phone, again, very targeted, very appropriate for the people that are interested in it, and you just might not be that person. And I think maybe you should be okay with that. Not every phone is for everybody. And for the people saying you could get an Android phone, yeah, you sure can. But you're looking at like a TCL phone or a cheap Motorola phone or maybe a Pixel 5a around the $400 price point now, and they don't compete anywhere on the hardware and the performance you're going to get. Plus, you also get the ecosystem. You get iMessage, you get Apple TV Plus, you get all that crazy stuff. People place a big value on that. And also, you're going to get about probably 7 years of support out of this phone. No other phone is going to get supported as long as this phone. So, yes. Is it the most ideal phone in the world? No. Am I going to buy this and personally carry it around? No. I've got an S22 Ultra and I'm recording with my iPhone 13 Pro. And behind your phone keyboard that you're being a keyboard warrior, you wouldn't be using it either. So if you want to be upset about it, that's fine, but you probably weren't going to buy it in the first place. So I just don't see I don't see the point of contention here. Anyway, if you're that upset about it, go buy an iPhone SE 2020, which you can probably get for under $200 now if you don't want the 5G and if you think that it's really not that big of a deal. It's a perfectly good phone. And if you got an iPhone SE 2020, there's not a whole lot of reason to upgrade to the 2022. Yes, you're going to get improved camera performance, and yes, you get 5G, but there are plenty of LTE bands and voice over LTE in the iPhone SE 2020, and I said that in my other video. So if you want something that more lines up with a $200 or $300 price point, you can still get one of those, and it's still going to be good probably 4 or 5 years. Also, the selling point, you get cheap accessories. Because the form factor hasn't changed, you can get all these cheap screen protectors and cases for them all day long, and that's also a really nice selling point too. But I really like Touch ID. I'm going to get one of these phones. I'm going to test it out, see what the viability is, see how much better or worse it is with having the 5G modem in there. But I think it's a very appropriate phone. I don't really have any heartburn over the 7% price increase whenever I was paying $1.70 for gas a year like 15 months ago, and now I'm paying $4 a gallon. So if you want to talk about price increases, then we can go have that conversation somewhere else. But whenever most other phones that have this level of power and sophistication are $300 to $400 more expensive, and everything's gone up in price 20, 30, 40, 50, 100% over the last 2 years, stuff costs money. It really does, especially with the supply chain constraints and the silicone and being able to get access to chips and stuff. It's been a hard world out there for phones for the last couple of years, and it's a miracle that most of them have not skyrocketed in price a lot. And I don't know, hopefully that doesn't ever happen. But anyway, so that's kind of my thoughts on it. Let people enjoy the phone, and the people that are excited about it, it's going to be a good phone for you. And I think that it is good value, and I think that it's going to give you so much performance, and it's going to last for years. This phone is going to be good for years and years and years. And of course, you get Apple Care. You can connect it to your Apple Watch, use it with your iPad, use it with your MacBook. You can't do that with a $300 or $400 Android phone. I'm sorry. So there's so much that this phone brings to the table. Yeah, I get it. You don't want a 4.7-inch screen with bezels, and that's okay. But there's probably a couple million people that do, and that's who this caters towards. And it's actually a very strategic phone because if you look at what's happening, 3G is getting cut off basically now. For AT&T and T-Mobile, this has been a process of transition that's going on for over a year. So now, here's Apple with this new phone that offers 5G, which they're probably going to be able to get for free through their carriers, especially if they trade something in. It's basically a win-win for Apple and for people who want to keep the same form factor, want to get a new 5G compatible phone that has some improvements over their original design. So I'm sorry, this is a win for the people that want it, and for the people that don't want it, you weren't going to buy it anyway. So nothing they put in this, even if they sold it at $350, you would probably still say it's too much money. So that's all I've got. A little bit of real talk today. Maybe I'm off base. I don't think that I am. But if I am, then go to the comments section, because all that engagement is just going to make the video get seen more anyway. So I don't really feel like I'm going to lose here. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks so much. I appreciate you dealing with a little bit of the edge and snark today. But I don't know. I've had kind of fighting all day with a bunch of people over this phone. Like, why are you mad, bro? There's nothing to be mad about here. So that's all I've got. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want updates on new videos, or if you ever plan on coming back to the channel again, I'll be glad to have you back. And as always, I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you guys next time.